Declassified documents show CIA knew of secret Latin assassin unit, with the blessing of a CIA bent on thwarting Soviet expansion. South American military juntas together formed a special unit charged with going to France and elsewhere abroad to exterminate leftist opposition leaders.
Here's a summary of the article.
Washington, with the blessing of a CIA bent on thwarting Soviet expansion, South American military juntas together formed a special unit charged with going to France and elsewhere abroad to exterminate leftist opposition leaders. While the cooperation of military dictatorships was widely known, details about this special unit, called Tessio, were not, until the release Friday of the final 7,500 declassified U.S. documents shared with Argentina and the world. President Donald Trump had promised his Argentine counterpart, Mauricio Macri, that the third and final tranche of U.S. documents would be shared, ending a process that began under President Barack Obama to make publicly available documents about a dark period in U.S. history. In all, roughly 47,000 U.S. military, diplomatic and intelligence cables pertaining to Argentina's military junta were declassified. Details about the Tessio assassination unit were in a CIA document dated May 1976, part of a batch of documents delivered Friday that had to do with Operation Condor. At a meeting of Operation Condor from 31 May to 2 June 1976 in Santiago, Uruguay agreed to operate covertly in Paris with the Argentines and the Chileans against the JCR and other terrorists, the secret CIA memo said, stressing the document was not to be reproduced. The document about Tessio, Spanish for the mythical Greek king Theseus, underscores how U.S. intelligence agencies supported military regimes in Latin America even after the election of President Jimmy Carter and prominent lawmakers such as Idaho Democratic Senator Frank Church, who sought to make human rights a cornerstone of American foreign policy.
This post received a score of 7,260, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
And this is just what we know about. Imagine what they are still keeping secret.
This is what they want you to know about. The real juicy stuff is kept secret or not kept at all. The real juicy stuff has all its documents burned and those involved have been shot.
Greater than Santiago, Uruguay. What?
Diplomats from Uruguay were present at a meeting in Santiago, Chile. That comma is separating portions of the sentence.
Reading it like that it makes sense. It looked like they confused Uruguay with Chile.
Greater than CIA knew of secret Latin assassin unit. Reminds me of the Bill Hicks bit where he was talking about how the government knew about Saddam's weapons of mass destruction. We looked at the receipt.
Actually, it was France who supplied them.
Guys, come on. I think we can all agree that we've all supplied nasty things to Iraq at one point or another. For the avoidance of doubt, anything even vaguely anti-communist in South America was known about and endorsed by the USA. It's also irritating that people will use countries that collapse from far-right militias, that were funded by America, as evidence of socialism not working.
If someone kills a civilian while being motivated by an ideology, is he considered a terrorist? And can states commit terrorism? Greater than and can states commit terrorism? Might want to look into when the democratically elected government of Nicaragua referred the state-sponsored terrorism of the U.S. to the World Court and all parties were asked to observe international law and the U.S. replied, "Lolololol fuck off," and carried on with their operations to terrorize the local population. IIRC The CIA even produced a book to that effect, How to Effectively Terrorize Local Populations.
Max Blumenthal and the Gray Zone have done excellent reporting on the U.S.-funded right-wing terrorist groups from the uprising last year. All leftists on the planet know this already. Elliott Abrams and the Reagan administration and the Bush admins are guilty of genuine war crimes. Sad thing is they are trying to desperately recreate the same in Venezuela.
Fun fact, Operation Condor was headed by Bush Sr., a man who we are now supposed to respect and love because HES thankfully dead.
We are supposed to love Bush Sr. because he said he didn't like Trump once.
And because Reddit loves to mention all the time how they would Lovo to barbecue with his son.
Best part about that? Dubia was the one who signed the law that made student loans undischargeable in bankruptcy.
This is known and people have been suspicious about that and other things all this time, but is this means that people will have to understand the reality of what is happening in Venezuela, Syria and whatever? Or will they remain deluded by propaganda and the fucking shit and then after years some declassified documents prove this shit again?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.